The last thing you want to hear when you need your auto insurance most is a robot with countless irrelevant menu options. Which is why with USAA Auto Insurance, you'll get great service that is easy and reliable, all at the touch of a button. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply.
Hello. Welcome back, all of my beautiful friends from all across the vast reaches of the internet. I hope each and every single one of you is having an absolutely spectacular Tuesday morning, or whenever you happen to be listening to this podcast episode, whether that be morning, whether that be evening, or whether that be into the deep, dark depths of the night. Welcome to the Reddit Asks Us podcast. I almost forgot what I was going to say there. Oh, man. Welcome to the Reddit Asks Us podcast. I'm your host, Luke Dick, the podcast where we read and react to comments from r/Askreddit. If you're listening to this podcast on app, did I already say what my name was? Yeah, my name is Luke Dick, by the way. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever else you get your podcasts, please leave us a rating and also leave us a review. It helps with the show so much. Remember, you can actually respond to this week's episode's question or just comment on this week's episode in general by going to the description of the episode in Spotify and commenting down there below, and I'll read your comment out loud on the next week's following episode. And you can also, if you're feeling a little adventurous, you can take a little gander, a little frolic over to our subreddit, r/Reddit Asks Us, where there you can join the subreddit, and there's a new mega thread posted every single week, and you can put your comment in there as well, or in there if you want to, and that will also get read out loud on the next week's following episode. But you can also post in that subreddit about anything Reddit Asks Us related, really, or whatever's boating your float, man. Whatever is sitting atop that cool water with that cool breeze. Just as you're sitting with your little Apple AirPods in, listening to the Reddit Asks Us podcast underneath the sun. Because, what else better thing is there to do than to swim with your AirPods on? I think that's it. Honestly, this is an ad-supported show, so we'll take an ad break. After we read the comments out loud from last week's episode, and then another one a little bit of the episode after that. So without further ado, we also do a Would You Rather. So we'll read out the results from last week's Would You Rather, and then we'll do another Would You Rather. So why don't we just get right into it? And enough yap. The first thing we'll do is the Would You Rather from last week. So last week's Would You Rather was, would you rather be cursed to rhyme everything or unable to tell time forever? And with a 60-40 split, we had people choosing rhyming everything over being unable to tell time. So this is an interesting one. I feel like it's not fully, there is a 60% consensus, but a 60-40 split, that's not nothing to shake a stick at, okay? We're not shaking sticks here. All right, folks, if you see a stick and you pick it up, maybe it's one of those cool sticks that looks like a lightsaber or a partially like a little handgun. You know how we used to pick up cool sticks as kids? I used to collect them. Sometimes when I was camping with my grandparents, I used to make little spears out of them. If you find one of those sticks and you hear and are listening to this podcast, do not shake it. I swear to God, you better not shake that goddamn stick. Because after hearing this, because this is absolutely nothing to shake a stick at, we definitely have, an unable to tell time is a severe hindrance on your life. That means, I gotta get a freaking sundial. Okay, we're gonna sundial it back to 1100. I don't even know how long. How old are sundials? Is that a thing? How old? We're gonna look this up, folks. How old is the sundial? Someone who's listening to this while I speak it out loud. It's obviously 1500 BC. Okay, everyone knows that the ancient Babylonians invented the sundial back in 1500 BC. That's way older than I thought it was. Which honestly makes sense because it's literally just like a thing that you stick in the middle of an unobstructed place, and then based on the shadow based on the shadow that it creates on the plate, based on where the thing is, it'll tell you what time it is, which is pretty freaking cool. But yeah, we're gonna have to dial it back. I don't even know if you'd be able to tell that time, because you'd just be looking at it like, what the fuck am I looking at? Shadows, that's great. So we're going to hop into the comments from last week's episode. So we had 5 comments this week, and actually 2 from our subreddit. So thanks so much, guys, for keeping keeping engaged in the podcast. I know there's a lot of people who listen to the show who don't comment every single week, and they're still dedicated fans, and it's obviously, I get it. It's not hard. It's hard to when you're busy and on the go, especially when you're listening to podcasts and stuff. You're not, not everybody has the time to comment, but I just want to let you guys know that I really, 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 really appreciate your comments. And if you're not commenting, I still know you're there. I really appreciate you. I see how many people listen to this show. There's definitely a consistent group of people that listen to this show. So even if you don't comment, I definitely know you're still listening, and I'm just trying to spread the love, okay? Spread the love into your ears, into your ear holes, that my voice may be the guiding force that influences you into typing out on that little keyboard of yours on that phone that you have and just pushing post on a comment. So first one comes from Phil Savannah. Oh, so last week's episode should probably read out that. That's pretty important. What's the stupidest thing someone smart believes? Or I guess someone that's smart believes. So Phil Savannah says, I'm already bad at sharing my emotions and will often laugh in the wrong situation. Oh, I think that was from the previous week's Would You Rather. For the question, I had a friend who was very smart and was valedictorian in high school. She believed that if you were wet, it was harder to get sunburned. It's not very easy to argue with someone who thinks they're the smartest person in the room at all times. Imagine her surprise when we went on vacation and didn't put on sunscreen and was so burnt she stayed in the hotel for the rest of the trip. Dude, this happened to my freaking dad, bro. Like my dad obviously is, he didn't believe that if you're wet that you're not going to get sunburned. He just forgot to put on sunscreen. And they went snorkeling, bro. And my dad got freaking cooked, okay? He came back looking like redder than a freaking Louisiana-style lobster, okay? Like a crawfish cookout, all right? He was looking redder than the crawfish cookout, all right? This guy was absolutely cooked, okay? Like, I actually think it started to smell like cooked meat. It was literally what was the vibe was going on in the hotel room, because he got so freaking badly burnt. But I'm pretty sure it was worse because he was in the water, and it was like something had to do with like the refraction or something of the sun in the water, and it actually like can burn you even more or something. I don't know if that's misinformation. Maybe I'm just misinformation infecting all your little ears. So you're gonna go and spread my little misinformation campaign about sunburns in the ocean. So be prepared. You guys are doing exactly what I want. Falling in line. So sometimes I am done finishing a sentence and I'm like, wow, that was unbelievably cringe. Holy crap, I'm cringe lord right now. But that's, I mean, the only way you're gonna find that out is through life experience. Like she's gonna. There's no way she can spin that. Like she can't just be like, it definitely wasn't like the water though that burned me, because the water is I think actually the water protected me a lot more. It's well, you are insanely burnt. You may have developed melanoma from this. The skin cancer is in your future, my dear. But I don't think, I don't think you can spin that. So the water actually is I probably would have gotten way more burned if it wasn't for the water. It's I don't think so. If you want to go and test out that theory again, I don't think you're going to be living a much longer rest of your life. Next one comes from the Green Changeling. I'd rather speak in rhyme than not keep track of time. I have places to be, I have places to see, and I don't want to wait in line. That kind of sounds like a also, loopholes are fun. Loopholes are great. Luke can't hope to win this debate. It's just so funny. Okay, Green Changeling, if you guys don't know, always is finding the loopholes in the Would You Rathers. And I always keep saying every week after week, I'm like, there's no loopholes allowed. If you can think of a loophole, it's not allowed. But Clearly, you've been infected by the rhyming bug. But the first part of your rhyme sounds like a 1970s rock song, like, and I don't want to wait in line. Like something, I'd rather speak in rhyme than not keep track of time. I got places to be, I've got places to see, and I don't want to wait in line. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's giving like there should be an electric guitar kind of, taking us through that little poem of yours. If there wasn't a massive plosive on that last P that I just pronounced. Oh, man, we're already having fun. All right, next one comes from Vortex. Man, it's great to hear from you, Vortex. I've been listening to this podcast for 4.5 years, and I won't stop until I die. That's crazy, man. Vortex, I'm pretty sure I actually remember you commenting back in the very early days of my podcast when it was so different. Like, it was so different. I used to have my friend Hunter on the show all the time, and we wouldn't even read the comments, and the questions were so stupid. Like, I was like... They were like, would you freeze your body in space or something? And we would just spend 45 minutes talking about whether or not we would freeze our bodies in space. It was such a tired concept. I don't know why I did that. It was super boring. I'm like, why would anyone ever listen to this? This is not funny. And now the show's changed so much, and now I'm confident it's kind of funny, not very funny, but it's on the brink. We're getting there. It's modestly funny. It's a chuckle. Everyone, you get through it with a couple chuckles, and then you go home and you have a nice rest of your day, and you eat dinner with your families, and you go and you watch maybe some TV, and then you go to bed and you wake up and do it all over again, and then you just get to look forward every week to a little chuckle. A little tiny itty-bitty chuckle from the show. Next one comes from Ghost. What's up, Luke? Sorry, it's been a while. I just moved to Arizona with my family. It's hot as hell. Great episode. Wish me luck on a job and vehicle and good schooling. Can't wait for next week's episode. Stay ghostly and live life. I think it meant live life to the fullest. Ghost out. Thanks a lot, Ghost. Moving to Arizona. I don't think I've ever been to Arizona. I don't think so. I've been to Nevada because I've been to Las Vegas, but I don't think I've ever been to Arizona. My name is Walter Hartwell White. I live at 308 Negro Arroyo Lane, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Not even close to the same state. I don't even know. Albuquerque, Arizona. Yeah, no. Definitely missed with that one. But New Mexico and Arizona, they're like next to each other, aren't they? I'm pretty sure. They're in the southern part. It's like Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico are all part of the same, kind of group of arid places with giant deserts and people questioning why they live in a place like that. No, I'm just kidding. University of Arizona, though, let's go. I used to have Air Force Ones from the University of Arizona with cool little scissors on them. So I guess I was the Spider-Man guy. There was the red and blue shoes. So in case you ever wanted to know what my style was like when I was 14 years old, I thought I was the coolest kid around. Next one comes from Dusty. I have returned, Luke and friends. I've been busy and enjoying my last few weeks of high school before I graduate. Yeah, it's it's around that time. I was just talking to a coworker about that, about how kids are in school for so freaking long. I partially got my wish of leaving a mark on my school before I potentially leave town. Even though my mural didn't win, still a little salty about that because it was obviously the best. Well, it says joking, but I don't really think you're joking. I feel like it probably was the best. My friends and I, sometimes that stuff is so political, bro. It's like the art teacher's freaking favorite student, and then they're like, yeah, I gotta pick those. That happened so much at my high school, bro. There were like kids who would get awards who were like clearly some nepotism there, especially like the sports awards. There was, and some of the other awards, there was some clear bias here. It's like, oh, you are the entire superintendent school division's son. And wow, you got like 3 awards. That's crazy. Oh my goodness. That is so coincidental. Holy crap. Look at that overlap. The only vandalism I support is non-destructive vandalism that is non-offensive if legally done. Okay, I don't know if that's related to the question or just an opinion, but I don't mind. I don't want to say I don't mind vandalism. I like graffiti, especially on trains. Like, no one wants to look at the logos on the trains. It's way cooler if you get stopped at a train, if you get to look at all this art. Like, I've seen some, I saw the Jetsons, the old cartoon. I have a photo on my phone of a picture that I took of some guys, and he spray painted the whole side of a train car with the Jetsons, and I was like, wow, that is really good. It's cool to see that. And just, come on, guys, it doesn't look good if it's all soaped out. All right, so we got 2 more comments to read here. I'll move on with the show because I know that we're already 15 minutes in. Hi, Luke. For the poll, I think I'd rather be unable to tell time. You'd be surprised at how many people can't read analog clocks. Bro, yeah, totally. Yeah, what the hell? Dude, that's crazy that people can't read that shit. Holy fuck. What the hell? What the helly? What the heliante? I look at a clock and I'm like, wow, I can read that. That's like super clear what that is. I can tell the time right now. That's always so embarrassing when because you're so not used to looking at analog clocks. Like, obviously, I can tell time from an analog clock. Obviously, obviously. But like when there's only one in the room and someone's like, oh, you have the time, and you look over at the clock and you're like, 1, 2, 15, 14, 15, 20, 30. I was like, oh fuck. No, it's 4. Okay, no, bro, it's tough. It's definitely a tough one. For the question, I have a smart friend that thinks having fun will hinder his life. Okay, he probably doesn't think that, but this guy's never comes to hang out with us. Literally, we had a field trip for a club we're in, and it was literally going to an amusement park and watching a movie after. Yeah, bro. You know that shit leads to crack, bro. You know that shit leads to crack, bro. Going on a field trip for going to an amusement park and watching a movie after? Bro, come on. This is what RFK is talking about when he's talking about the corruption of our youth. All right? This is what is destroying our children. It's crack right after this. It was completely free too, but this guy, oh, so you just want handouts? Everyone just wants freaking handouts. Oh yeah, we're just going to go on a little field trip for school that's funded by the school division because we want to promote education and creativity for our children. And you want freaking handouts? Oh yeah, it's completely free. But this guy opts to skip the trip and go to school. He refuses to elaborate. Sometimes he really pisses me off. Bro, you just got to leave him in the dust, man. This guy's like, I understand it might be a cool dude, but like, bro, like, but don't stress over it. Like, just don't invite him anymore and then just keep living your life, bro. I always wanted to say more in these comments, but I just don't know what else to talk about in the podcast. So if you're always wondering what my comments feel so similar, that's why. I haven't thought that. I just realized something, though. I've listened to over 100 episodes of this podcast. I know that because I remember that the first episode I listened to was in the 140s or something like that. Wow, that's a long time ago. I remember I left a comment. That was like 100 weeks ago, because we're on like, no, that was way more than 100 weeks ago. That was like 160 weeks ago or something. That's wild. I remember that I left a comment about me choosing numbers on a cake wheel, changing them, spinning the wheel, and finding out that the numbers it landed on were my previous numbers. Couldn't find the title, though. Cool, man. I don't even... To be honest, I'm sorry, but I don't remember that. That was a long time ago, my brother. I wanted to ask, though, can you revisit some old questions, specifically ones like, what are your crazy statistics? What scientific fact blows your mind? What are the best street tips? Things like that I can either remember for fun or actually use one day. You don't have to go to these questions specifically, but if you find questions like these, it would be awesome if you did. This, I think, sorry for the yap, have a great day. No, it's not yapping. To be honest with the topic, I actually think that's a really, really good idea. I would love to do like part 2s and part 3s of certain episodes because I actually think that this is a common theme for me. I do save all the questions, so I have a massive backlog of questions that I've done. And one thing I have noticed is that I never get to read out even some of the funniest comments because the show's less than an hour, so I don't really get the chance always to read out some of the comments. I only get to read out a certain limited amount. So it would be fun to do a part 2 because there are still so many comments that I never got a chance to read. So I think this is a fantastic idea. I'm glad you have interest in this because I would love to do a part 2 of some of these questions with reading some more comments from the threads because there's just so much there. Last one comes from jflocka86. Hey, Luke, I've been listening to the show for 2 years. I don't know why I've never said anything. I really fuck with your podcast, and I was wondering, since the school year's coming to an end, if you could do something like, what's the best senior prank at your school for an upcoming episode? Keep up the great podcast. Well, jflocka, all my episodes come from Askreddit itself, so the most upvoted top posts of the week. So if you want to post in there, and if it gains some traction, sure, I can read that out. But also, you can just tell me. You can just tell me. I'll read it out loud on the show, and I'd love to chop it up and crack a couple wise ones with you, and yeah, but just laugh at that. Or post in the subreddit. Post in the Askreddit or Reddit Ask Us subreddit about a prank you did, and I'll totally read that out. I'm always down to read stories. Wow, we are 20 minutes into the show. Holy crap, everybody. We're going to take a quick ad break, and then we'll be back with today's episode.
Whatever the occasion, effortless elegance is right this way. Because Hilton brings you new ways to stay courtesy of the Nomad London. And it doesn't stop at award-winning dining in a space draped in velvet and illuminated by vintage chandeliers. No, this day goes beyond with unparalleled personalized service and attentive hospitality. Oh, and did we mention the Nomad London can be booked using your Hilton Honors points at Hilton.com? Hilton, for this day.
Welcome back, all of my beautiful friends from across the internet. Thank you so much for tuning in and everything. Oh wait, freaking heck! Holy freaking heck, guys! Holy freaking heck, guys! I totally forgot to read the Would You Rather from this past week. So we'll start it here. Would you rather? Yeah, here we go. Would you rather be able to speak every language in the world or be able to communicate fluently with one animal species of your choice? This one is very interesting. Seeing as though I'm quite allergic to animals, I feel like this one is not really going to be meant for me because, you know, I can't really be around animals, okay? I had pet snakes as a child because I couldn't have a dog, so... you know, my emotional attachment with animals is very cold and brittle because, as you know, snakes don't form emotional attachments or emotional bonds. So my relationships have, you know, been tainted by that ever since. I can't form meaningful relationships with people, and I'm a very cold-hearted, unfeeling, unempathetic person. No, I'm just kidding. So yeah. Why don't you chew on that for the rest of this episode? This episode's question is, what is your if you go low, I'll go lower moment? First one comes from Gambit Girl. Old boss treated me like shit for almost 10 years. When I got a new job in the same organization as an auditor, I ran an audit on her unit since I knew where the skeletons were buried. My new boss enjoyed the shit show because they knew and hated my old supervisor. Bro, it sounded like there was a little bit of, you know, helping out here. Sounds like there was a little bit of assistance on this one. Looks like someone gave you the alley and you finished with the oop. Okay, because they knew they couldn't do it, but they were like, you know this person who's been consistently treated like shit for years? Why don't we give them all the power over the person who's treated them like shit? Let's see what happens, you know? It's like, for that boss... You know, it's like one of those moments where the good guy in the movie, you know, kind of is losing in like the sword fight, and then all of a sudden, like the tables turn, and now the good guy has 2 swords and the bad guy has nothing, and he's like, "Come on, we're friends here. We're friends. We've always been friends." It's like, you tried to mutilate me and cut my nutsack off like 2 scenes ago. Okay, you think I'm gonna forget that? You think I'm gonna forget? You think the audience is gonna forget that? Yeah, we're jumping out of the 4th wall here. Do you really think that the audience sitting in their beautiful, comfy theater chairs are gonna just suddenly forget? Gonna suddenly just disregard 2 scenes ago when you had my nutsack stretched out all across your dining room table, ready to take a cleaver and chop it off? You think they're gonna forget about that? Okay? No. They're not. That's why I'm taking these 2 swords. I'm stabbing you in the double heart. In the heart and in the heart that's like there as well, the other heart. We're just going double hearts on this one, okay? Because I don't want to, you know, we're being creative, okay? Because I think stabbing you in one heart is not quite enough. You need a double stab. You know, you need to double up on the stabbing of the heart. It's like, I want to stab you in the heart once, and then stab you in the other heart once. Get a little, you know, we need to make this dramatic, okay? Yeah, this is kind of like the best possible situation you could find yourself in at a place where you've been treated terribly for your job. You know, like that's how you wish every story like that would go. But thank life, thank the universe for internal hiring, because, you know, sometimes they already know who's going to take the spot, and it looks like we knew who the GM was. You know, we knew who was about to get that promotion, okay? We knew once they fired the head coach who's going to take the head coaching role. We know. This isn't an outside hire, okay? We're hiring internally on this one. And we've got just the person, okay? Shout out to the Denver Nuggets, even though they lost in a 7-game series and got blown out. It's so funny, like, sorry guys, I love sports. It's so funny, like, I'm just going to quickly say something about this and hope that my best buddy Riley is listening. By the way, congratulations, Riley. One of my best friends, Riley, is getting married this summer. Congratulations, love you, buddy. And I can't wait for the wedding. But it's so funny, like, when a team takes a series to 7 games, because it means the series was competitive, right? It means the games are back and forth, right? Like, there's no one clear better team at before the game 6 point. You know, it gets to game 7, you hope it's going to be a competitive game, and then it's just a blowout. Like, the OKC beat the Denver Nuggets by like 40 or 50 points. This is basketball, by the way, in case anyone doesn't know, which is just ridiculous. Okay, in the game 7, that's like the game that everyone takes off of work to go and sit down, make sure they've got nothing else going on, and then it was just a nothing burger of a game. Okay, it was like if Black Panther sucked. Like, it's like if you're so excited, you go in, you're like, Black Panther, this movie's gonna be freaking sick. Okay, this character is the dopest thing, and then it's just like Tom Holland the whole time. It basically just devolves into Spider-Man again. It's like, this is supposed to be Black Panther, okay? Not like freaking white boy Poindexter, okay? We, don't get me wrong, love Spider-Man, but it's called Black Panther, all right? That's what we wanted to see. We came to see something big, okay? We came to see something monumental, and we just got Tom Holland and Zendaya again. Okay, folks, we're going to the next comment. I don't want to shit on Tom Holland and Zendaya of this whole podcast. Next one comes from Timming MG. You can't put those 2 letters together. A 528. On a new team, I had helped a fellow lead / manager out a lot. Hoping he would spin up and pull his own weight. He had a part getting me demoted, so I decided to stop doing his job and focus on my own. He didn't like that and complained to my manager and demanded a meeting to discuss my lack of cooperation. Bro, that's like a cheater calling the teacher and being like, bro's not giving me the answers. Like, I'm looking over bro's shoulder and he decided to wear a freaking hoodie and pull the hood up. Okay, I can't see, bro. I literally can't see the answers. How am I supposed to pass this class if you're not going to let me cheat off of you, dude? It's like, this is unfair, okay, Miss Guacamole? This is unfair. I've worked so hard, training my neck muscles to be able to lean over the back of his neck, the back of his shoulders, to do it so subtly that no one would even notice that I've been training to make my neck longer. It's like jelking, but with your neck, okay? I've been gooning this past whole semester, Miss Guacamole, and now I just can't even cheat off of bro? What is school even for? What is the point of gooning? What is the point of jelking if I can't get a good mark cheating off of this fucking guy? So so I spent a few hours compiling a 35-page report complete with screenshots and other receipts detailing how much the team and I did his job in addition to our own. Got it to my manager in time for the meeting, which the guy called off. The guy was fired next week. Bro, you can't just call off the meeting, bro. You called the meeting. You called the cheating meeting. All right, and you're not allowed to just like be like, yeah, you know that like shitty things I just said. Yeah, like we're just gonna like backtrack on that. We're just gonna go completely 180 backtrack. We don't even need that. Yeah, like we don't even. Yeah, we're gonna have a meeting about like, just like, just, maybe I could get criticized here, but like, why don't we don't need that. We don't need that. This company already has enough criticism, okay? It's like, yeah, from you, dog. You've been the one criticizing everybody, bro. It's time, and doing no work. It's time we flip the tables here. Next one comes from Shizblam. If I talk to someone standing too close to me when they talk, I'll step in a little closer. It makes it better if we're all uncomfortable. Bro, this actually happens to me. Not because I stand close to people, but because I actually have a really loud voice and I yell a lot. I actually yell at people when they are standing very close to me. It's a very bad thing. It's becoming worse because I also have this thing where if there are background noises, it's distracting me. I get very distracted by background noises. It sounds really freaking loud to me. Like things in the background, like especially if we're at a restaurant or a loud place or a place that I perceive as loud, I have to freaking scream because I cannot hear myself and I cannot think straight if I can't hear my voice. Like, it's just, oh man, it's brutal. I have to focus and dial in. And then sometimes I have my dad, when I'm doing this, will start screaming at me. And but not anything mean. He'll just be like, oh yeah, really? Is that true? And I'm just like, oh, Dad. And he's like, yeah, you're freaking screaming right now at everybody. Okay, you need to chill the frick out, man. You need to chill the freaking heck out, dude. Your voice is freaking off the chizzle right now. All right, you need to chisel the fuck out with your loud freaking voice. My friends do this to me all the time. I had actually coworkers the other day when I was walking around work, and I was like trying to talk, and one of my coworkers turned to me and he was like, "Dude, why are you yelling at me? Like, I'm right here. We are standing less than like 2 feet away. Okay." Even if this were COVID, even if we had to separate by that 6-foot distance, you wouldn't need to scream that. Like, I would need to be standing probably in the other side of the ballroom for me to be able to make, like for you to be yelling that loud. And even then, it's probably unnecessary at that point. Your voice carries. But that's a good one. That's a good... We have a reply from Can Rova. Now kiss. It's what you should do. You shouldn't kiss them, but you should make like the kissing face. Like the face before you kiss somebody, like the Anytime someone stands too close, just make that face and just stand in a little closer and be like, "What the hell are you doing? You're my brother." Yeah, bro. And you're standing way too close to me, so I'm gonna freaking peck you on the lips, dude. I'm literally gonna freaking peck you on the lips if you're standing closer to me, bro. Yeah, man. That's a good one, though. That's a really good one. Someone just stands too close and you're just like, are we grinding now? Is this the way we're going? I didn't know you were into me like that. We're bros, but like, dang, bro. I didn't know you felt that way about me, dude. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah, and then like if someone stands that close to you, just like start like caressing their hair. It's like, oh, is that not the vibe? Oh, shit, my bad, bro. My B, bro. Oh, damn. You were standing so close, dude. I just was like, oh, damn, we about to get down right now? Like, that's kind of the vibe I was getting, bro. I didn't know, sorry, bro. Maybe a little presumptuous on my end. I apologize for that, bro. Like, dude, yeah, it's fine, whatever. Like, just don't do that shit again. Yeah, bro, I got you. And leans in again. Can't help myself, bro. You're too sexy of a friend. Next one comes from Sassy Cat Lady 442. I had a coworker, not a main office worker or director, take it upon herself to figure out ways for our daycare chain to save money. Oh, isn't that, yeah, that's just great. I love a cheap daycare. That is like the worst thing you can hear. Like, I feel like those words are like the worst. I don't want a cheap day. What the hell is going on at the cheap daycare? Okay? I don't want to know what's going on at the cheap daycare, okay? I bet they're freaking stringing the kids up by their ankles, all right, to get all the tears out of them so they'll stop freaking crying. Like, are they, the cheap daycare, are they just like, it's just child labor? All right, now Timothy, I understand you poked yourself with the needle, but we need to be focused. This is embroidery, okay? We need to be dialed in. I know your little 5-year-old hands aren't super coordinated yet, and you've poked yourself a couple times, but you need to understand if you get blood on any one of these t-shirts now, we're gonna have to send you to the coal mines. We're gonna have to send you right down to the basement where we've got a functioning small coal mine, little Timothy. So just smarten up, okay? You need to start taking some pride in your work, all right? Take some pride and effort in the things that you do in your life, right? The cheap daycare. That's the worst. That's like those two words should not be. The word cheap should not be. What is the word I'm looking for? The word cheap should not come before the word daycare, okay? And those words just should not be together. So her solution was to cut my hours from 40 a week down to 30. Full time at my daycare is 32 hours. She said she was going to call our main office with her plan because it was the most cost effective and better as a whole. When I told her I would lose all my benefits and she could not survive on 30 hours a week, she said, "Not my problem. It's not like the company's problem. It's not the company's problem. We need to save money." So, dude, this is literally the definition of fuck them kids, bro. This is literally the epitome of fuck them kids. That night I got drafted by the San Antonio Spurs. No, I'm just kidding. It says, that night I drafted a professional proposal for saving money. The key point would be eliminating her position altogether. Turns out we don't actually need a dictator. I pointed out what she actually does all day and how, since she doesn't perform a vital function, her position being eliminated saves the company over $2,000 a month. I turned one into the director the next day, saying if she tries to screw with my job, I'm bringing this to the main office. My coworker found out after she began taunting me about calling, so I showed her a copy of the proposal I did. She ripped it up, screaming I have no right, and shrugged and pulled out another copy from my bag and told her I had more at home. Plus the director had one to turn in. She began crying, saying she needed the job and she couldn't be unemployed, and replied, "Not my problem. It's not the company's problem. We need to save money." Wow, you flipped it. You used her line against her. Twice the pride, double the fool. No, I'm just kidding. That doesn't even apply. That clip just popped into my head. She dropped the matter. It's a Star Wars reference, by the way, in case anyone didn't know. She dropped the matter, but my director kept the proposal on file for several years just in case she got any more ideas. Don't screw with me. Bro, this is awesome, bro. You just freaking dunked on her, dude. You silenced her, bro. This is awesome. This is legit, bro. She's just like literally HR for a daycare, bro. Do you really need HR for a daycare? Next, excuse me.
Finding a new job is stressful, but with Indeed, it doesn't have to be. Just fill out your Indeed profile with your skills, experience, and desired salary. The more you fill out, the better your matches will be. And hearing from hiring managers will be 2 times more likely. Relax. That's your Indeed profile sending opportunities your way. Indeed, the world can work better.
Your snacking routine can get a little dull. Time for a Light and Fit remix. Like a crunchy storm of graham cookies, caramel pearls, and dark chocolate, showering down into a smooth, creamy yogurt. Enjoy 3 Light and Fit remix varieties with craveable flavors and up to 120 calories and 10 grams of protein per 4.5-ounce serving. See remixyogurt.com.
Next one comes from Whiskey and Tacos. This was actually my mother's doing, but it helped me see that she was always willing to have my back from a very young age. I went to a brand new school in 2nd grade. Bro, 2nd grade? How do you remember? Dude, I remember like one thing from 2nd grade, or 2 things from 2nd grade. I remember we tried to raise a dragon in a crystal ball which disappointingly didn't work out. We were looking forward to seeing the dragon fly around in the morning, and it didn't happen. I was very devastated by that. I was very interested because I read a lot of children's Greek books, all right, about Greek mythology, and I was very prepared for a little dragon to be flying around. When that didn't happen, Mrs. Popowich, I was pretty fucking pissed. So I'm still looking for that dragon. But how do you, and like, I remember having a fight with my second grade 2 friend, and we kept sitting away from each other in reading time. And I was like, bro, this is the extent of what I remember in grade, from the second grade. She will always have my back at a very young age. I went to a brand new school in the second grade, and the 2 popular girls were mean to me in the beginning. My mom booked my birthday party that year at the premier birthday party spot in my hometown. I think laser tag, bowling, mini golf. Do Americans call mini golf putt-putt? I've heard that. I hate that. That's so stupid. Putt-putt? It's mini golf, okay? Battling cages. That's awesome. Battling cages? You guys just had a full-out brawl? What is a battling cage? Oh, batting cage, bruh. I'm an actual idiot. Battling cage? Think laser tag, bowling, mini golf, the octagon. We put children in the octagon and made them fight. I did a rear naked choke on one of my best friends and actually killed her. She then sent me to the school and had me give an invite to every single person except for those 2 girls, and coached me to say, why would I want to invite someone who doesn't like me? When they asked, guess who started being nice to me? I know. We couldn't afford that party at the time, but my mom wanted to help me with my new school however she could. Forever grateful. Well, you will always be seen as the second grade octagon legend, okay? You were a beast in the octagon, all right? People saw you pull up with the cauliflower ears, and they were like, dang, this chick knows what she's doing, okay? She can school you in mini golf, she can battle you in laser tag, but she will knock you the fuck out in the octagon, okay? You won't last a single round with her. Grade 2, she was letting those haymakers frickin' fly, dude. Next one comes from Wild Chef 6597. Boss that treated me like crap for years used the company's PPP loan that they got by fudging the books by cutting hours to buy a new car. They refused my demand to bring up my pay with other supervisors, so they got reported for PPP loan fraud. Oh man, don't you just love when things come full circle? It's almost like shitty things happen to shitty people. That always amazes me. It's like shitty people when shitty things happen want to be more shitty because they're like, oh, clearly I'm not being shitty enough. And it's like, my brother, you have gone the wrong route consistently, and you've got shit fucking results. Okay? It's the same thing. It's like what is the saying? It's like, put in like shit something, expect shit results, or whatever that saying is, that it's apparently profound. It is, by the way. It's like, yeah, like, turns out if you're an asshole, people don't fucking like you, okay? And people don't want to work with you and be around you, dude. You're literally toxic as hell. Like, people who are in that like whole, who have that whole problem in their lives, I'm like, dude, have you ever considered not being a shitty person? Yeah, have you ever considered not like lying or manipulating or putting people down? Like, it's like, oh yeah, in 20 years' time, I found out bro got arrested for running a Ponzi scheme, just stealing people's money. It's like, yeah, because I don't really think that you're gonna become a billionaire for too long by just, just finding new investors for your company and consistently, time over time, just stealing their money. I don't think that one's gonna last for very long. It's not a very sustainable business model. Next one comes from regular economist 498. Should I explain what a Ponzi scheme is? Does everyone know what a Ponzi scheme is? Am I mansplaining? But if I tell everybody what a Ponzi scheme is, because I learned about Ponzi. Because I didn't know what a Ponzi scheme was for the longest time. I just heard it and was like, yeah, freaking that sucks, bro. Ponzi scheme, dude. That's like really freaking Ponzi, bro. You got Ponzi'd, bro? That's fucking crazy, dude. I freaking Ponzi, bro. Ponzi sounds like it would suck, bro. I hate getting Ponzi'd. That's freaking Ponzi'd up my freaking butt, dude. Just how much Ponzi there is in this freaking thing, man. This thing is full of Ponzi, bro. Have you ever noticed this like emails like so Ponzi coded? So much Ponzi in this email. Anyways, A Ponzi scheme is basically where you get an investor and you promise them high returns on their investment, and then you find other investors and then to give you money, and then you basically give back some of the money and some profit to the person a couple of people who originally invested, but then you keep finding new investors, and then so it looks like the original ones are actually getting returns, but pretty much everybody else is getting completely screwed because you're just taking their money. You're literally just taking their money and just spending it on yourself. This is what Bernie Madoff was doing, and it was like he was like one of the most respected names on Wall Street. He was literally brought into the like Congress of the United States to like he was considered for being like the head of the Securities and Exchange Commission for that position. He was literally running a Ponzi scheme, like the oldest scheme in the book, like just blatant stealing. It's not even an intelligent thing. It's not even an intelligent scheme. Like it's literally the dumbest scheme possible. You're literally stealing money. You're not making money. Someone gives you $100 million and then you're just like, dang, bro, guess I'm rich now. It's like, bro, that's not your money. It's like, wow, I guess, dude, crazy how I can afford this yacht. It's like, you didn't do anything. Next one comes from Regular Economist 948. Did I even react to this thing? Anyways, yeah, whatever. At university, when the 4 men I lived with didn't pay their internet bill to me on time, I'd put child safe on and block their porn. More recently, when pregnant, if anyone patted my belly, I'd pat theirs in return. That's awesome, dude. And that's like they gotta walk with their tail in between their legs too. If they're gonna ask you about that, they're like, "Hey, did you notice like something weird with the internet? Something weird with the internet. I don't know. What do you mean? I haven't noticed anything. No, I've been using Google just fine. Could you tell me a little bit more?" Yeah, just like freaking like, I don't know, dude. Like some of the, it's like using Google is like, doesn't work. Like Google's just like not pulling up like the sites that I'm like trying to like do for like research and stuff, like just like school and research purposes. Well, let me just pull up Wikipedia right now. Well, Wikipedia is working just fine. I'm using Google and all these links are working. Could you maybe be a little bit more specific about the website that you're looking for? Yeah, it's like totally, it's like an educational website, you know, it's like another one of those kind of things. It's, you know, it's like a .edu or something like that, I think, or like, yeah, it's you know, it's one of those, yeah, it's one of those like content websites, you know, it's like YouTube, you know, it's called like Brazzers or something. I don't even know. Like, I think it's like for like people who are like really, you know, brazzing or about like being really smart and stuff, I think about that. Yeah, it's like, it's something, yeah, it's like, yeah, it's another one. There's another one. It's called like, it's like a weird name, bro. It's like one of those like websites that got one of those like funny names called like Pornhub, but like it's like actually not though. It's like actually not. It's kind of more. It's actually more like it's like a chat website. It's like Reddit, but like cooler like and stuff. It's like for like university students like talk about like just like funny stuff in university, like, you know, just like shooting the shit. It's like a private server type thing, but it's like somewhere is really blocked. I don't know. Is there any way you could like, you know, just like look into that for me? Yeah, bro. We know what you're trying to do, bro. So you get that knock on your door at like 11 p.m. Be like, are you having trouble with Google right now? Google's being like really weird for me. I can't like look this thing up. It's like, okay, well, you know, try paying your fucking internet bill. We'll see what happens. Why don't we read off one more? Next one comes from Alpha Gen 91. If I'm standing in a line, that's no, we already kind of read one that's similar to that. Let's see. Okay, let's okay. Next one comes from Choice Teacher 5245. Girl in high school was bullying me and always tried to get me in trouble, so I used to unscrew the lid of her water bottle just a tiny bit whenever she left it out so it would leak in her bag. Dude, this is awesome. She was so confused and changed water bottles and couldn't figure out why it kept leaking. She also hated pennies. So I collected them and put it in her pockets, shoes, books, and it really freaked her out. Dude, you are a freaking genius, bro. This is like that. You put some thought and effort into that. That's not just, you know, you were scheming, bro. That took a little bit of you know, fingers kind of slowly tapping together, kind of, you know, Mr. Burns kind of level scheming going on there. That is so awesome, though. Just slightly unscrewing her water bottle. It's like death by 1,000 paper cuts. She's going to start freaking. It's like an episode of Black Mirror, dude. She's going to start freaking out. She's going to just crash out on everybody in the school one day. She's like, I'm fucking doing that. I'm fucking... It's like, whoa, Kathy, chill. And you get to be the one who just comes in there. Everything's fine. Don't even worry. You get to slide in. That's a pretty good one. All right, folks, we're going to cap it off for today's episode. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the Reddit Asks Us podcast. Remember to leave that rating, leave that review. Please comment down below, and I'll read those comments out loud on the next week's following episode. Join our subreddit, r/Reddit Asks Us. I love each and every single one of you. Peace out. Love you. Goodbye.